Hello, BookTube, and welcome once again to Rocket Summer 2025. This is a BookTube event created by Michael K. Vaughan that goes on throughout the month of July, where we read classic science fiction. All July long, we read classic science fiction, and I am once again flouting the rules. I did that for my inaugural Rocket Summer video yesterday, and I told myself that I would behave better last night when I was arranging the night's reading, and I did not. Instead, I once again reread a book that is only very vaguely science fiction. Only in the most elastic sense of the word. It would be much more along the lines of a term that one of you reminded me of, science fantasy. But it was a reread, again, for the first time in probably over half a century, and it was this, The Eternal Savage, by, again, Edgar Rice Burroughs. I am again flouting the rules of Rocket Summer, and I am once again doing it in the only way that is likely to get me a pardon from Michael K. Vaughan, because as far as he's concerned, there's never a bad reason to read Edgar Rice Burroughs. And I haven't reread this in forever. This was another 1914 novel. It was also serialized. It was originally called The Eternal Lover, and then was reissued as renamed The Eternal Savage. And it's very, very slightly a Tarzan story. There is a young woman, Victoria Custer, who travels to Africa. She goes to Tarzan's ranch, to his bungalow, but she is sister to Barry Custer, who is a character who turns up in another novel by Edgar Rice Burroughs. But the point of the novel, the focus of the novel, is not Victoria Custer. It's Nu, N-U, son of Nu. He is, well, he's a dreamboat. First of all, we're told he is tall. He is covered in rippling, gorgeous muscle. He has a long mane of black hair. In other words, he's very much like Tarzan, who at this point in Edgar Rice Burroughs is already well on his way to simply perpetually being the bolt of lightning ape man without ever aging. Except there's one key difference with Nu, son of Nu, and that is that he is from 100,000 years ago. He's from the prehistoric era. And when we meet him, he is engaged in prehistoric preoccupations. He is hunting for O, which is his tribe's name for the great saber-toothed cat that plagues them and haunts their dreams. And it's his goal to kill not only to rid the tribe of a danger, but also as a kind of sign of his word, signifier of his manhood. And he keeps going out hunting for while we get the rest of the Custer storyline, the Custers from Nebraska. While we're getting that storyline, we are cutting back to him 100,000 years ago, hunting for this saber-toothed tiger, and we realize that that his pride is on the line, that his fellow tribespeople are watching to see. They've heard him state his intention to kill this animal. We're told halfway through the book, which gives you an idea of the pacing involved here. We're told he had determined to await the return of the saber-toothed tiger and have the encounter over for good and all. Had not the young men and women of the tribe begun to smile of late each time he had returned empty-handed from the hunt for None had doubted the sincerity of his desire to meet the formidable beast from which it was no disgrace to fly, but none doubted the courage of Nu. But nevertheless, it was humiliating to return always with excuses instead of the head of his quarry. Nu is tall and strapping and has a napped stone tip on his spear. And I want to point out that the animal that he is most... We don't know. Edgar Rice Burroughs doesn't know the exact specifications. But I want to point out that the animal that he is hunting here, with just that, no traps, no nets, no dogs, no nothing. The animal that he is hunting here is probably 12 feet from snout to tip of tail, probably weighs close to 500 pounds, and would easily kill him. Easily. Would know he was there, and even if he caught it by surprise, would easily kill him. We know that such animals did routinely kill antique humans 100,000 years ago. Unless those humans were acting in concert with other humans, in which case they're deadlier than anything, obviously, because you can tell that because they took over the world. But unless that happens, or unless, little vote for the home team, unless they're working in concert with dogs, then there's no chance at all. It doesn't matter how statuesque you are. But as you can guess, there's a woman involved. Nat Ull is her name. Natalie, or we can call her Nat Ull. Admires New. She loves him. In fact, she trembles with love for him. Sometimes she trembles all the way from her loins with love for him. But still important to her that he kill Ooh. And while out on his... I, of course, on principle, do not object to New's dedication to killing a cat, especially one that weighs 500 pounds. But while he's out on one of these adventures, he finds himself in the present day. So all of a sudden, there are two Tarzan-like, gigantic, statue-sized, physically unbeatable men in the world. And he meets Victoria, and a novel ensues from there that doesn't have quite as much of the tongue-in-cheek humor as At the Earth's Core from yesterday, but it's still... I don't know what it is. I don't know what Edgar Rice Burroughs does. I made a video at the end of June on the Range, one of Michael Cavan's other great BookTube events. I made a video about the storytelling magic of Louis L'Amour. And I read you the first couple of pages from one of his novels, because I couldn't put it in any better words to demonstrate that magic than just to read it to you. And I am not imputing that kind of magic to Edgar Rice Burroughs. I am not doing that. With Edgar Rice Burroughs, once the spell has been cast on you, I don't know how that would happen. There are probably as many ways for that to happen as there are readers. But once the spell has been cast on you, well then yes, he can do no wrong. He cast his spell on me a long time ago, and now he can do no wrong. So I loved reading this. Absolutely. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time that I was reading this. All the way to the incredibly hokey ending. Is there going to be a connection between Victoria and Natalie? Is there going to be a connection between those two, even though they're separated by 100,000 years? Is there going to be a little moment at the very end of the book that demonstrates that connection? Probably, considering how hokey a writer Edgar Rice Burroughs is, probably that's going to happen. And that hokiness will turn off a lot of readers who did not fall under this author's spell first. It didn't turn me off, though. Oh my God, I loved rereading this. Absolutely loved it. So my dedication, I am as dedicated to New hunting Ooh. My dedication for tonight is to read something with rockets and ray guns and bug-eyed aliens. That is my dedication tonight. I am not going to fall into the trap of reading Edgar Rice Burroughs throughout the whole month of July. As pleasant a trap as that would be, I'm not going to do it. So this was wonderful. I'm very glad that I revisited this, but I am not going to do that tonight. I'm going to throw another Rocket Summer book on the pile, but it's not going to be Edgar Rice Burroughs. It's going to be proper science fiction. I mean, time travel, interdimensional travel, alternate reality travel, which I think we would have to assume is what's going on in this book. Since I think it's likely that New would instantly die if he came to our present day from the actual... It's the thinnest possible branch on which to justify this book, and I am not going to do that. I am not going to risk another squinty-eyed, suspicious look from Vaughn Manor. Instead, I'm going to pick some genuine science fiction for tonight. So I will wrap this up for now, and I will see you then. Thank you, BookTube.